Hey guys, today is Monday, December 29th, and I'm still trying to plan my 2026. Am I going to be done by the 1st? Probably not, and that's okay. If this is the first video you've seen from me, please feel free to go back and view the previous ones. So we have gone through a couple of steps the last couple of days. And so yesterday we were looking back at our year and listening based on our reflections from the previous day. We were listening to our life and what our life looked like in 2025. And where did we want to go? Where did we want to be? And what was limiting us? And so when I got through that, if my life were whispering a truth to me right now, what would it be? And I have two. I'm going to be totally transparent here. Two. I need to streamline my home to lower my own anxiety and stress when I come into my home. Now, you can see behind me, I've got a notebook over here and I've got my china cabinet. This is kind of calm. But if you were looking across my table, it's stacked. I need to get the table cleaned off again. I had it almost cleaned off on Saturday. Anyway, so I need to continue to work on streamlining my home. A lot of this stuff is going to come off my table tonight. I need to dig deeper. The second thing is I need to dig deeper into what I learned this year. I've made the first pass through all the categories. I've completed all of my coursework for a certification exam, and hopefully by the end of next year, I will have completed the hours I need to have logged to take an international certification. So those are my big things for this next year. And so now we need to lay the vision as to what we want 2026 to look like based on what we've discovered. And I've done this a couple of ways, and typically I do a life wheel assessment that will look something like this. This is my results from September when I was planning my 4th quarter for this year. And I do like the life wheel assessment, and I plan to do a life wheel assessment once I get through this format, because I think the format that I'm using right now for looking at the year ahead is also good. But I like doing the life wheel assessment. If you would like more information about that, please feel free to reach out, because I do like that. And I do have my scores. I've done a life wheel assessment this time last year. I did it to plan my 2nd quarter, my 3rd quarter, and my 4th quarter. So I'm a little bit of a geek because I like to keep track of where I am and how I've done in prior quarters, and I have a cumulative average. And sometimes that helps me really hone in on an area in particular that I do need to focus on. So if you want more information about that, let me know. But for today, what we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of paper and we are going to put it in, we're going to draw a line down the center and then draw a line across the center. So you have 4 equal quadrants. And in the first quadrant, we're going to talk about health, inner workings, if you will. And these are things that, based on what you've reflected on, that I need to make a priority this year. And this is probably where you are feeling that you're stuck, and that you're not living your truest desires, and where you are letting others possibly reflect the emotion that you really need to own yourself. And so I've got a couple of things here from a health perspective that I need to focus on this year. One being physical health. Predominantly, I need to move my body daily. I've become so focused on my education work this year and learning new skills that I've not been moving my body the way I should. And that's one of the things that I'm going to change. When the weather's good, I'm going to be walking. The girls got new harnesses and leashes for Christmas, so they're going to be going walking too. That's a struggle all on its own. I also need to make time to knit and crochet and craft. One of the things about knitting that I've learned is it helps me clear my mind. Knitting is almost muscle memory for me, and so it helps me to clear my mind and focus and be present in the current situation. I can sit and quietly knit and be engaged in a conversation and participate and hear and absorb and really listen intently without scribbling a lot of notes, without picking up my cell phone. And so the knitting helps me to be present. The other thing is when I'm at home, I need to make time to crochet and be creative. I need to make time to get back to my sewing machine, which means I also need to clear the sewing machine off. That's going to come up in another quadrant. But my craft work and my journaling helps me be very intentional, be present, and hear and understand. So that's what I have in my health. And I can do all these things. And I just need to do it. And I need to have the mindset that I can do it and I can get this done. Relationships, identity. Are you living as your highest self? Are you living as your best self? Are your relationships based in love? Are they loving relationships? And if they're not, why not? Okay? Because we need to have good, nurturing relationships that we love on people and they can love on us back. Okay? And this is an area that I feel pretty good about. I have good friend circles. My son and my daughter-in-law. They may watch this. This will be news to them. I'm going to be more intentional in making time to spend time with them, either with me or with them in this next year. I have a couple of trips planned this year, and one of them is with my brother and sister-in-law, and I'm looking forward to that this spring. We're going to do something new. We're going to the lake, so that's going to be a fun trip. We're still going to make our red dirt trip, but we're going to spend some time at the lake, and hopefully the weather's good, and we're going to go fishing. So I'm really kind of excited about that. Intentions. How can you create a more energy, a more vibrant health lifestyle for yourself? Are there habits you need to stop? Are there habits you need to start? And for me, this is where the kitchen table comes back into play. I need to focus on my home. I have been, and I recognize this, I have been in a funk for a number of years now, and I've let my home go. And I need to purge the excess. I have lived abundantly, and I do not need all of these things. And so I am going to start releasing things to make room for things that do bring me joy and happiness. I've held on to many things for a variety of reasons, and I have come to a place where it's time to let some of it go. I've got home improvement projects that I need to do. I'm not going to get those all done this year, but if I can at least get some of these rooms purged, and let me be clear, I will never be a minimalist. Never. Okay? That whole concept, I'm not there yet, but I'm willing to let go of some of this stuff. But yes, maybe moving some things around from room to room. The other thing that I'm going to start being very intentional about is retirement planning. I'm at a point that I need to get my retirement plans in order because as I get older, the years move faster, and I will be at Medicare age sooner than I care to admit. So I need to get that stuff in order. And then in the last quarter, this is going to be impact or what gifts. How are you gifted and contributing your gifts to others, and in what way? And do you have something that you're being called to do that your heart is really wanting you to step into this next year? And it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be a new job. It could be, I want to be a door greeter at the church. I want to teach a knitting class. I want to show people how to journal, or how to create artwork on the margins of their favorite book, or how to take, maybe I want to go take a ceramics class, okay? Or maybe I want to teach a ceramics class. So we are all gifted differently, okay? And so you've heard me talk about a couple of certifications that I'm working on for next year, and that's my big goal, and to be more present and to be more available to people. And so once you have that mapped out, okay, then you can pull out your calendar, okay? And so you're going to laugh. I've already started my calendar for 2026. I have a wedding that I'm going to attend on March 27th. My next door neighbor, little Sam, he's going to get married. But I've already blocked out on my calendar, when are my holidays, when are my scheduled PTOs. I have a retreat in February, the end of February. I'm so excited. I'm going to get to meet some friends. I'm so excited about that. I will be completing a certification then in June. And so I'm planning a trip then to go and complete that certification. And then I have my Oklahoma trips that I have planned. So once you kind of know what your 4 things are on your sheet of paper, then you can start breaking those down into smaller chunks and putting them on the calendar as to when you're going to be working on. When is that going to be your focus? Some of these things may be a focus for a month. Some of them may be a focus for a quarter. Some of them may take you the whole year to get through, and that's okay. If you've got a big goal, break it down into smaller chunks. And for those of you who work with me, this is called sprint management. Break those tickets down into manageable tasks that you can realistically accomplish within a given amount of time, so we don't have to move that task from one sprint to the next. Kind of relates, don't you think? Anyway, that is my thoughts for this evening. And a couple of things that you need to remember as you're doing this is have joy, make connections. Make sure you plan for rest and recovery. As you get older, rest and recovery becomes more important. So yeah, that is where we are for tonight. So if you've got questions, reach out. Let's talk. See you soon. Bye.